Welcome to the Wisdom Lounge.
Welcome to the Wisdom Lounge.
You doing it on purpose. Gotta know what your worth is. Gotta know what your worth is. Love the song of your eyes about. Walk with purpose in my life. Do it on purpose. You doing it on purpose. Gotta know what your worth is. Gotta know what your worth is. My life is picture perfect. The pain was worth it. You doing it on purpose. You know what your worth
You
is.
shall live and not die. This is episode that we're dropping part 1. The first one was an intro.
Correct.
Go back and check that out. You will see it on Facebook, YouTube. Some parts are on TikTok. So check it out.
Check it out. And we're so glad that you're here with us today. And today we're going to be talking about some great topics. We're going to be sharing as we always do.
Yeah.
And we're so glad that you have decided to watch our podcast. And so we're going to have great things in store for you.
Yes.
So let Angela tell you a little bit about her story and her journey as we go in, as we are discovering why it's essential for us to find out who we are.
My name is Angela. By profession, I am your local real estate agent here in the greater Houston area and in the greater Houston and surrounding area. By vocation, love and passion, my heart, I am a certified recovery coach, a certified Christian counselor, and I love all things that I do because I am in the people helping business, whether it be real estate or coaching. I love helping people because I once needed that help and I received it. So, Dawn, if you will, I'm going to throw it to you.
Okay, I'm going to catch it. So, so what I am is by profession, I'm an HR professional, been in HR for over 20 years. And I also have a certification in leadership disc training, which helps very much with leadership, but just in conversations and relational activities, it helps. And so I love coaching people. I'm very passionate, very resilient, and I love helping people reach their goals. That is just something that's just a natural thing that I do, which I love to do. So much like Angela, our journeys collided us into each other. And as we came together, the Wisdom Lounge was birthed. Now, you can always hear nuggets about that, I'm sure,
Yes.
on our podcast,
Yes.
just because we have so many funny stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when I was trying to take this train a little bit faster than what it was supposed to go,
Right.
I needed to slow down and I needed to introduce myself.
Right.
So with that, like you said, you'll always hear some nuggets about what the Wisdom Lounge is about, how we got started, because it is who we are. It is a part of us. It's a part of our story.
Correct.
Now, I'll take that back. It's not so much as who we are, but it is a part of our story. And now, because we're forever becoming something greater, becoming what God has desired us to be. But we won't negate the story.
Correct.
Because it's in this story is how we are to become.
Exactly.
And so with that, now Wisdom Lounge. It wasn't a project out of boredom that we decided, ooh, girl, I'm so bored. Oh my God, I'm so bored. I just need to come up with something to do. I ain't need and I say ain't.
You said ain't.
I ain't need nothing else to do. I did not need anything else on my plate to do. Because if anybody knows me, I'm always doing too much.
Too much. Too
Doing
much.
too much.
Too much.
But Wisdom Lounge was birthed from a place of heartbreak,
Yep.
disappointment,
Yep.
setbacks,
Rejects.
rejection,
Rejection.
reject and rejection.
Correct.
It came from a place of transition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it came from a place of change, like just waking up one day and not really realizing, man, like whose life is this anyway? Like it looked at nothing like what I was used to. And it definitely did not look like anything that I thought I would be living in my future. At 50 years old, this was not looking like the life I had carved out and planned.
Not at all. Not even close.
Not even close. It's like by 49, but really, no, it was my 50th birthday. It's like my world just blew up, but at the same time, it was this hope that I felt.
Yep.
And altogether, it was all scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what about you? I know we will talk about how we kind of connected, but same.
So, yeah, very much the same. By the time I was 50, of course, my life didn't look anything like I thought it would look. I'm supposed to be out on somebody's beach right now.
Say that. On your boat.
On my boat.
Having
fun.
Having
Enjoying.
fun.
So, yeah, it came from transition. It also came from just having to navigate spaces that I had never navigated before.
Yeah.
And lots of lessons. And those lessons during that time of figuring out, who am I now?
Yeah.
How does it look?
Yeah.
Who do I want to be?
Yeah.
Who was I?
Yeah.
And sometimes that who was I is not who you thought you would be.
Exactly.
And so it was a very narrow, sometimes scared road to walk into, but I consider myself a resilient person. So I'm like, okay, if I came to it, then I can go through it.
Absolutely.
And so that is, part of all of that, rediscovering yourself. And that's really what our journey is on.
Absolutely.
Rediscovering of who we are now versus who we were.
Exactly.
So I encourage you, if you are sitting in that space and you are beating yourself up, don't beat yourself up. What we both have discovered is it's a normal part of the process and the journey.
Yeah.
Nobody just ever told us about it.
Exactly. And going back to that place, like you said, if God has allowed it, then you know that you can get through it.
That's right.
But I have to be honest, there were some times that I can't always say that was my resolve. It was like there were moments where, oh my God, like why am I? And I'll say for me, it was more of I don't know if it was more feeling embarrassed because now here it is for my journey. It was, okay, now showing up to these parties, showing up to these events when it was a we and now it's me.
Yeah.
Those
Definitely.
were hard.
Transitions.
Yeah. And I never thought that would be an issue until you're in that situation.
Correct.
Because for me, and your story is a little bit different because you were younger when you guys got married, so y'all had more years together. I was married for 12 years, but for 18 of those years, I was single. So I knew how to live on my own.
Right.
I enjoyed every bit of that. Right. But then now here's 12 years of my life. Now I learned to live with somebody and we're showing up to everything together. We're enjoying life. We're dressed alike. You got your
the dress alike?
Every once in a while, because I didn't like it. He really did like that. I did not like that. Well, for those who like it, it's not cheesy. But for me, it was cheesy. But he liked it. So, but we would be like in the same colors and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I like to show up as an individual. But anywho, that could have been my mindset that might have needed to change in my marriage. Probably.
Might.
I'm sorry, I'm going through therapy right here. But
Breathe.
breathe in, breathe out. Maybe that's something I should have changed. But I just remember those those type of moments hit when all of a sudden, when you used to be a we, now you're me, and then you're in those spaces where you're having to answer these awkward questions. How do you navigate that? How do you answer these questions without making them feel uncomfortable, without me being uncomfortable? Because not everybody knew what was happening. So they're asking genuine questions. Hey, how is so-and-so? Hey, what is he okay? Why didn't he come tonight? And it's like, okay, do I want to run the whole party by dropping the ball? We're getting a divorce. Now all of a sudden I don't run everybody's party.
Right,
you know?
right. They're like,
yeah, it's like
become the topic of conversation.
Exactly. So it's like just learning how to navigate those spaces, learning how to answer those the elephant in the room without making it so heavy.
Correct.
It was learning how to get through those moments. And so sometimes it felt, and you felt I felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
I felt like I was weighing the weight of the entire burden of everything up on my shoulders.
Absolutely agree.
But I thank God it became a moment, like you said, that had to become my resolve. That if this is if this is on my plate now, if this is what God is allowing me to go through now, He didn't put me through it. He didn't bring it to me, but if He allowed it, because everything is filtered through God. Nothing happens that's not filtered through Him. The enemy can't just come up with stuff.
Right.
And so, and so if He allowed this thing to happen, then I knew, okay, God, you're gonna get me through this. And so now I could show up to places and be me, and I'm okay. I'm not worried about. I'm okay with not being a we
Right.
at the moment. I'm gonna say yet. Well, I don't even know if I'm ready for that, but I say yet just so I don't speak nothing over myself.
Right.
I'm confused. I just think my picker is broken, so I just need to get that repaired in the name of Jesus.
Doing the work.
Yes,
Doing the work.
I'm doing the work.
Doing the work.
And so, how about you?
So,
what was
yeah.
real tough?
So much like you, right? We were both in high profile positions just because of the seats we were sitting in at the time.
Yeah.
And so I very much felt that way. And it really, where in my journey, I got to a place where I just began to focus on me, right? I isolated it toward me. But yes, definitely some awkward moments. Then when people that, you see all the time, you talk to periodically, and then they come and they start asking, "Oh, how's this person? How's
Yes.
this person?" You don't want to always have to say
Exactly.
this. So there were times I'd be like, "I'm fine,"
We're
So,
good.
Yeah, coming up with these coined phrases
Yes.
helped
Yes.
me tremendously.
Yeah.
Because you do feel like you're getting blindsided a lot, right? And so that's how I navigated that space for me, and just was really mindful about what I said. And sometimes I didn't say anything. Sometimes if somebody came and said,
Yeah.
"Well, where's this person going, or where's this?" I said, "Oh, they're all right." Right? And then I kept going.
Absolutely. I
whatever.
learned to say, we're doing good, or
Oh,
they're
right.
okay, because they are okay. They're just not okay with me.
Right.
But they're okay.
Right.
And then I learned that every question didn't need an answer.
That's my next.
When I learned that, I was like, I don't have to. So I learned to just move the conversation along.
Yeah, change it.
Just move the conversation along, and if you pick up on context clues,
Yep.
you'll get it. You'll be like, oh well, they're
Yep.
not ready to talk about that, or whatever.
Exactly.
What, I don't know what they picked up on, but I just knew how to move the conversation along.
I did that. I would call them space shifters,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like
Space
that.
shifters.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, I would say, "Okay, what's the space shifter?" You don't have to answer that. Shift
Yeah.
it to something else, and the person will go right with you.
They'll go right with you. They'll go, and sometimes I don't even think they realize that the conversation moved.
Right.
And so and that's what I learned, that I didn't have to answer every question, and that was powerful for me.
Yeah, and that was taking. Sorry.
No, you're
That
fine.
was for both of us taking our power back. Now I didn't
Yes.
see it like that at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Right.
At the
I'm
time,
just
I didn't
trying to
see it.
cope
Exactly.
with some hope. But those
You about to turn into Justin Jackson. Cope with some hope, because we need some hope.
Stop it. So again, I didn't, I didn't think that that's what would happen.
Exactly.
But I had to preserve my peace. I have this phrase that I say in my life coaching space: "That's not mine to manage."
Yes.
So whatever the answer they want, and if they got it, they got it. If they didn't, they didn't. Why? Because
Yeah.
it ain't mine to manage.
It's not mine to manage. That's it. That's it. And so that, I think that was really, really good. And then we talked a little bit about how some of this was brought out of heartbreak. When we talked about the heartbreak, and then also we were at the same time not knowing each other, different places. You're located where you're located. I'm way somewhere else. I'm in Missouri. You're in South Carolina.
That's right.
And here it is. We're actually going through the same thing around the same time and landed in the same space around the same time. Nobody but God. Nobody but God. And but we were also transitioning, like with our children. Our
Yes.
children were pretty much around the same age.
Absolutely.
And so now we're becoming empty nesters. Wow. So all this is happening. Divorce is on the line.
Yep.
Transitioning with our children, and then
Careers, all these
careers.
things.
Exactly, career change, and we are part of the sandwich generation.
Yes.
And so you were taking care of your grandparents. I'm taking care of my mom.
Yep.
And all these things was happening. All these stressors happening at the same time.
Yeah,
So this is Wisdom Lounge.
it is.
And from there, no matter what it looks like, and we'll talk more and more about it. We're very transparent.
Sure.
We're pretty transparent about the things that the tools and techniques that God allowed us to learn through all of this. But we also learned the most beautiful part of this is to live boldly and create our next chapter.
Absolutely.
So that became our slogan, our tagline, because we learned through all this how to live boldly outside of our children,
Outside of
after the divorce, after taking care of our loved ones,
Absolutely.
and even having to grieve their loss.
Yes.
So that was we had a lot that we were dealing with, but here it was, two women far away, not knowing each other, and so that's why today's topic is about community.
Yes.
Because
community is
through
very
us
important.
connecting,
Yep.
we created
Community
and now we want to invite you
to be part of our
to be a part of our community.
Right.
We want to invite you. You may be far away somewhere. You may be somewhere where, man, I don't have anyone to talk to. Because during that time, I didn't have a lot to talk to. I didn't have a lot.
Talk about.
I didn't have a lot that I can talk to someone and they were actually going through the same thing. Now I had people that I could talk to, but they were not going through what I was going through. And yes, I thank God for all the support system that I had. But to know that Dawn was going through the same thing at the same
wind.
time, yeah, it just is different. And so that's what we want to be. That's what Wisdom Lounge is about. That wherever you are, that this will be a community where we can share with you, listen to you as you're going through whatever your stage is. It could be transition. It could be that restart, that new career.
Correct.
Okay. So my question is, now what?
Now what? We live boldly.
Yes. Yes.
And I think for both of us, we are both crafting out what our new identity looks like.
Yeah. I like that.
You don't necessarily have to go through a divorce to do that because for me, in my journey, I recognize I got stuck in being who I was for all the people around me that I left me out. So again, we're 50 and I'm like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So you got to have, if you have some good friends, they can help you. Don't stay in the corner. So that's where that boldly comes in because you're not going to always feel like doing it. You're not going to feel like, let me get up. You want to stay in the bed. You want to go under the covers. If you have a large people network, you become really mindful of where you want to go, when you want to go. When you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk.
You don't want to talk.
And you don't want folk coming up saying too, well, you don't seem kind of friendly. I ain't got time for that today. Not today. Not today.
I don't want to be friendly.
Right. So all that boldly piece is really, really significant.
Yes.
Because there'll be things you're not going to want to feel like doing.
Absolutely.
But you have to boldly make that force step within yourself to go out and find out, rediscover who you are.
That's
and
right.
who you want to be. And it's almost like you're in a cocoon.
Yeah.
Like, so you go in this cocoon, then it's tight in the cocoon, it's dark in the cocoon, but the brightness is still in you. You just have to break free boldly.
Yes.
And start taking steps.
Yeah.
That'll get you to where your end game is. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think either one of us knew really what our end game looked like.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I definitely.
And we're still learning.
Yeah.
And God is showing us along the way. So I could hear somebody saying, well, that's too hard. You put it in bite-sized pieces.
That
Bite-sized
part,
pieces.
put it in bite-sized pieces. When you say that, one of the things that as a real estate agent, one of things that they used to always tell us, how do you eat a large elephant? No, how do you eat an elephant? First, my question was, why are we eating elephant? But okay, after I got past that, because I was like, why are we eating elephants?
Right.
But anyway, but it was one bite at a time.
That's it. One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Right.
And it basically means if you're going to do something big,
Yeah.
or if you're going to do something hard, you do it one bite at a time. And so that's what anything. And I always say, if you're going to do something and it's hard, do the hard part first. Where your first of your energy is, do the hard part first. Don't save the hard part for later, because now you've done everything else. You're exhausted, and you're going to talk yourself out of it.
Absolutely.
So that hard thing may be having to regulate your emotions. That hard thing may be becoming more mindful and aware, thinking about what you're thinking about. If you're focused on those negative things, if you're focused on all of the bad things, for example, we're using divorce, but everyone may not have a divorce.
Sure. It could be a job loss.
It could be a job loss. Don't just think about, excuse me. Don't think about everything that the boss did, and so now you're wasting all your time just focused on all the things that went wrong with the job, rather than what were some of the things you could be grateful for that job. Did that job bless you where you could provide for your family? Did that job bless you where you were able to spend time with your children? Because that's what I did. I went to all the negative at one point with my career, but when I got out of my pity party,
Right.
when I got out of my pity party, and because a few people just wasn't coming to my pity party anymore, so I was in there by myself.
In your locker room back here.
I was in my locker room, so I noticed a few people didn't show up to my party.
You notice.
And I remember who y'all was now that I think about it. I'm going to call you, because now that I just thought about my pity party, you wasn't there. I'm going to call you too. But but even in that, I realized that I had stopped being grateful. And I had to remember that my career, even though it wasn't where I wanted to be at that time in sales and all of that kind of stuff, but I was blessed to take care of my mother. Yeah. I was able to be home and give her all the attention she needs for 8 years.
Absolutely.
For 8 years, she didn't have to be taken care of by anyone else, and I was able to take care of her, and to know that she was safe. Because she had dementia, but because you did that with your grandparent, with your grandfather, I think it was
My
grandmother. So you know how serious that is.
Absolutely.
Like they need to be almost like little children, to be watched, because they can hurt themselves. So I had to go to a place of gratitude. So even in that, as we're talking about community, our topic today is having that community, and that's what we want to grow with Wisdom Lounge. We want to be able to talk about those tough things, talk about transitions, talk about relationships. Relationships not always romantic relationships, like you said. It could be work relationships, could be family relationships. We want
to girlfriend relationships.
Exactly, because you can have good friends and be like, girl, I am not on your team today. Not today. And so we want to talk about those things, because sometimes we can get set in our ways and lose good people.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes some people need to be lost. Right. But we want to do it from a healthy place, and not just from the selfish place, or a place where you're bleeding all over people.
Right.
So the community that we want to, so that's the power of community.
That's the exact power of community.
Yeah.
A real community. Get this, relationships. A real community has to be full of real relationships, not fake, not asking you to be somebody that you're not.
Yes.
So that's what makes it genuine and pure.
Because we like yin and yang.
Yeah, we are.
We are yin and yang.
I'll be like, not today. Or she'll be like, God, I'm tired. But you got to be able to have that. And what I noticed in my journey was I didn't really have I've never had a huge circle of friends.
Yeah,
I can be friendly with everyone.
But I don't have
But my core is really a core group of people that I have. And some have known me a long time. And like Angela, I think it's been a year for us now, right?
We're getting
Almost
close to a
a
year,
year.
but it feels like
We've known
we've been in
each
each
other
other.
forever.
Yeah, it really does, because we really hit it off day one.
Day
That
one.
it's like I knew that I knew it was God,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
then I
And
think
it was a good match.
it really was.
I mean, it really was. It was God. But then if we never took the bold step to meet each other, you know, we saw each other passing by in some spaces and places.
Yeah.
But we made a bold effort to meet each other. And once we met each other and we started completing the other person's story with the same words,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not something that happens all the time.
Exactly.
So you have to be real, and you have to be aware. I think what the conversation for us did for me is it really solidified that you are not alone in whatever situation you may be going through.
Yeah.
Right? And so for me, that was like, you know, when you plug up something to the adapter, that was like a fit, because like when we came together and we started sharing, she started and I was finishing what her story was, and it was the same as mine.